welcome back to the Steam Forward podcast. I'm your host, Savannah, and today we have a very wonderful guest. She's actually a good friend of mine as well as a coworker, and her name is Melissa Dumerville. Hi,
hey,
welcome.
Melissa,
hi,
everyone. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. So, Melissa, can you give us a little bit about yourself, what you do here, and all those fun things?
Right. So I am a program manager here, and our program just basically teach about lifestyle skills. We teach about on healthy relationship. We teach on financial literacy, on how to, view the red flags, and how to communicate, and just lots of great stuff that students need to know.
Right, absolutely. So one specific reason why we asked Melissa to be on the podcast this week was a couple weeks ago, we just celebrated Valentine's Day. And how many of us know that Valentine's Day is all about the wonderful word love?
Right.
And so Melissa teaches programming that really focuses on not only what chemicals make up the feeling of love, but what we can do to make sure we're always kind of doing the right way in loving people.
Yeah.
So if you could just kind of explain those chemicals that love creates, what they do to us, if we're lacking them, if we need them, kind of the gist of that.
Right. And so a lot of people don't know that there's actually a science of romance.
Right.
That the brain is actually connected. And sometimes when we have these feelings and emotions, when we meet new people, and it's not only just in romantic people, in this romantic relationship, it's also with friendship, because we also get a surge from our mind when we just meet people in general, and we're just attracted to them because they have great personalities, right? And so there's a couple of chemicals, we call them the love chemicals, that comes out when people are having the emotions of they meeting somebody and they think that they're great, right? One of them is norepinephrine. Right? So norepinephrine is a chemical that just gives out a feeling of excitement. So when you meet somebody, you're like, oh my gosh, they're such a cool person, right? Norepinephrine is literally coming out. That's the chemical that's being released from the brain, right? Another one is dopamine. So dopamine is that feel-good chemical, that neurochemical that comes out, and it gives you a rush of pleasure, right? And so a lot of people, like when let's say they're in love, right? And they wake up in the morning and the birds are chirping and the sky is blue and everything's clear and everything's is it kind of gives like an illusion of like maybe everything is just good. Maybe somebody step on their shoes and they're like, no problem. I'm just, they're just in excitement of a trance of just love, right? And so, but this is actually part of the chemistry, the chemicals that are being released by the brain. And so, and another one is oxytocin. So oxytocin is the bonding hormone. And a lot of people don't know this, but when you, like sometimes when you feel sad and somebody gives you a hug, oxytocin is being released.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's like a surge that gives you comfort.
Yeah.
When somebody gives you a hug or when somebody pats you on the back, you wonder why it feels good, right? That's oxytocin right there. And so these are exciting things that people don't know, that there's actually chemicals that are being released when you are feeling the excitements of meeting people and when you are in a romantic relationship as well, right? And the last one I want to talk about is serotonin. And a lot of people don't know about this, but serotonin actually kind of does the opposite of what the other ones do. They actually bring your levels down. And so they make you more calm, right? They bring tranquility into a person. And so when somebody is typically, when they should be upset, they actually feel more calm. And so these are some chemicals that are being released by the brain that people don't know that are happening to them when they feel all these emotions and feelings. And so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, love is really intense.
Right, it is.
And I think that when you think about love, that since there are these 4 different chemicals and you kind of need them balanced for it to work the proper way it should, that there are practical rules or practical practices that students or even adults can take to make sure that not only are we doing love correctly, if you will, but that we are taking the proper steps to get out of that trance of these drugs or these chemicals, if you will, in your brain, to kind of have like a proper and healthy relationship with people.
Yeah, for sure. And so we have a kind of a rules, something that we teach the students here, and we call it the 3-6-9 month rule. And so it's exactly what it sounds like, right? There's 3 to 6 to 9 month rules. And what that means is that you want to kind of wait, depending on who you are, because some people have a little bit more, some people have a little bit more feel of to pick up certain things.
Right.
But depending, you want to kind of wait 3 to 6 to 9 months before doing something, before making any large decisions with a new person.
Right.
So it could be a friendship with a friendship. Maybe you want to wait, 3 to 6 months before maybe diverging anything that might be a little bit sensitive or anything that might be, to trust a person. You kind of want to learn that person a little more before you maybe release certain things that you wouldn't typically release.
Right.
If you meet a great friend, sometimes you just want to tell them your whole life story, right? But you don't typically know those type of people. So how long should you kind of wait to trust, to kind of wait to get to know that person? And this is where the 3-6-9 rules come into play. And as well for romantic relationship, right? Before making any decisions, right? Like pairing up and getting a phone plan with them, right? That could be a big decision that people don't even think. Or a dog, right? Yeah. Hey, let's get a dog together, right? But then something happens and you guys don't end up together. They're stuck with a dog. And you're like, okay, well, who takes responsibility of the dog? Or you're stuck with a phone plan contract and it's kind of hard to get out of, right? So before making any lifestyle hard decisions, right? You kind of want to wait 3 to 6 to 9 months and kind of fill that person out. See if there's any red flags that you didn't pick up on because, your vision of love was impaired, right?
Yeah, the saying that when you have on your rose-colored glasses, the lenses, you don't see the red flags.
Right, exactly.
So
because all you see, you're just in that la la land, and everything just seems perfect. But as you get to know somebody, we all know that nobody's perfect. Everybody has certain type of flaws that they have, but you kind of want to make sure that that person, whether it's friendship or a love relationship, is right for you.
Right.
And so you kind of want to wait those months, the 3, the 6, and 9, to see if that person is a great fit. And that what that gives you is it gives you patience to see, hey, is that person right for me?
Yeah.
Can I trust that person? Exactly.
Yeah. The one question I'm thinking about is like the students asking, right? Miss Melissa, Miss Savannah, but 3 months is so long. 6 months is so long. 9 months is so long. So how would you encourage them to do this practice in their life, even when they're like, it's just a little too long for me to actually do this?
I would say let's look at, because we all know we have met somebody, or we all know somebody who got into a relationship, they're all booed up. Yeah. And then 2 weeks later, it's like, oh, what happened? It's like, oh, we didn't, and kind of take that with, a grain of salt. You kind of want to be trusting, or we kind of sometimes people have got into a relationship where maybe they had a friend that wasn't such a good friend, and they maybe experienced that for themselves. And so they kind of see that, the right way to go is just to be patient. Build that friendship with that person. Get to know that person. You could always have fun and get to know somebody and not make any harsh, decisions right away. You kind of want to wait until you feel completely secure. You feel like you completely trust them, right? Because sensitive things and things that you want to commit to should have some time to build, right? And so those are the kind of things that I kind of tell the students, wait a little bit. 3 months seems like a long time, but it really isn't. Right. It really isn't. I know we live in a popcorn world right now where everything is like fast paced and Instagram stories 24 hours and everything like that. But sometimes, we don't want to hop into something and something happens and then we're like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. It's always good to be a little worried, not worried, but a little, take your time before divulging everything that you want to divulge.
I love this. I love the 3 to 6 to 9 rule because I feel like relationships are super intense, and it's amazing that we have like this tool that we can use to not have to go through hurt or heartbreak or pain, that we can actually just take time, think about the relationship and think about, maybe this is not something I want to do. Maybe this is going too fast. So now we wait for the 6 months, and now the 6 months is good. And now we go to the 9. So I really do. That's very practical.
And it's pretty cool. I mean, depending on the type of person, we say 3 to 6 to 9 months because we want to give a variety, right? Because some people, they can kind of seek things, and their neuron chemical that is being released will calm down after 3 months. Yeah. So like that, that vision that was blurred, they start to see clearly after 3 months. Right. But some people, it takes a little bit longer. Right, some people, if they need that 9 months or maybe a little bit more, they call it the honeymoon phase, right? Because these neuron chemicals that they have are real, And so the thing is, they do settle. right? So all these chemicals that you get in the beginning that are just, they're bursting out, they're going to take some time to calm down. And this is why the 3 to 6 to 9 month rule is so important, because it may take, depending on the person, either 3 to 6, 9, and maybe even a little bit more, for those neurochemicals to calm down, that honeymoon phase to fizzle out a little bit, and for you to see clearer on how the person really is,
What, Miss Melissa? Relationships aren't always roses and daisies.
No, they are not. They are not,
right.
Yeah. And so this is just a great tip. This is just a great rule to be conscious of when you're meeting people, friendship and romantic relationships.
Right. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's fantastic stuff. So we always like to kind of end the podcast with a word of the day. And so since we're talking about love and relationships, Miss Melissa, could you give us like one word that you think would describe love for you?
Okay. One word that would describe love. Let's go with patience.
Yeah.
Right? You need patience, Things are, I know this, our culture right now, everything is fast and, popcorn, but we need patience sometimes. We need to, actually seek time to get to know somebody for who they really are.
Yeah.
And let them get to know you a little bit. That's the fun part of it, right?
It is.
And so, yeah.
Fun. Thank you, Melissa, so much for joining us and just giving us a helpful conversation about love. And as always, there's 2 sponsors that we love to thank, and that is Children's Trust and Trinity Church.
Steam Forward Podcast.